Hello. Starting completely fresh on a new Shipwrecked game because Don't Starve Shipwrecked is absolutely my favorite part of Shipwrecked. I don't play a lot of the other stuff, but I play Shipwrecked a lot. I love playing as Walani, in part because you start with this really sweet surfboard, in part because, I don't know, I just like the hairstyle. That's cool. She just seems like a badass to me. So I played this game a lot, so I have a way that I like to start. On your first day, I'm less concerned with whether or not you explore your entire first island, and I'm more concerned with getting a little mini backpack because I think it is very, very, very important right away to start collecting the stuff that'll help you succeed in the long run, which includes shells, which includes stone, and which might include uh, charcoal. What do they call it? Which might include when you burn a tree and then chop it down. And then also right away, you got to make sure in here you are getting some stones so that you can get a hammer, so you can get all these cool things that they give you at the beginning, including the most important. Oh, wait, we want that. Including the most important, which is always going to be this guy, because that is secretly a boat repair kit. So I'm dropping my surfboard there so I know to come back to it, because if you check the map, now you can see where your surfboard is. So I'm just going to run around my first island, collecting flint, collecting other stuff, specifically stones and shells, and grass and twigs. I pretty much always do this little lineup down here in the left-hand corner: grass, twigs, logs, rocks, flint, until I have enough gold where I swap gold for flint. So because I do find it really important to get some rocks right away, we're going to use our only two places of flint to, bam, get some of these. So now the only thing we're missing is some twigs to get the hammer that we need to get our little boat repair kit. And you might be asking yourself, why is she so focused on getting seashells right now? And that is because, in general, I'm very focused on getting the boat the reinforced boat, because you can travel around on that a lot on that one, thankfully, and not have to worry as much about repairing it or replacing it. And I find that to be really helpful at the part of the game where you don't know how exactly you're going to get your boat repair resources yet. I mean, to be clear, you have to get quite a bit of gold to get that as well, so it's an investment. Don't have enough sticks to make a hammer yet. Here we go. Now we're going to have enough sticks. Let's make us a hammer. I find the hammer to be very fascinating. It's not like all the other tools you use here. One of the things I absolutely love is when they give you enough boards, or when you're able to get enough boards out of existing debris to not have to worry quite so much about chopping down as many trees, because the name of the game is Don't Starve, and I feel like chopping down trees, particularly when you only have flint tools, does take a really extraordinary amount of energy. Let's see, we haven't fully explored the island over here. Let's see what else is going on. Not much. That was sad. But we're at the point where I am going to feel comfortable chopping down one more tree. Because we can now make ourselves a very, very cute, tiny backpack. And just collect a few more things as we go. Now, because I play as Walani, I don't need to worry as much about getting the viney bushes. But if at this point I have enough flint, I do like to get as many of these bamboo, is it bamboo? Yeah, as bamboo as possible. In part because you need four to make the little machine that is going to help you get uh, tar in order to repair your boat. I think it's tar. It's great how I like remember what it looks like. Here, we can check what it looks like. It is tar. Okay, my memory's not that bad. So the other thing I would highly recommend doing at this point is going under the lighting options and presetting as many things as you can. So I had enough wood there to make sure I'd preset myself a little campfire. And it is pretty easy to screw yourself over in this game by not having any light, because that will kill you faster than nearly anything else. The name is Don't Starve, but it really should be like Don't Die, because many things can kill you. I will say one of the things that initially appealed to me about this game and has continued to appeal to me is the fact that you don't just have like a stomach and a health rating, you have a basically a mental health rating. Like how crazy are you going based on what you're putting yourself through? And that just seems like really apt, you know? That seems like life right there. So in the first phase of the game, we're in the mild season, which is super lucky. You might get a little bit of rain, you might get a little bit of winds, but you're not gonna. I mean, it's not lucky. They programmed it that way. They wanted to start off easier for you. But you might get a little bit of rain, you might get a little bit of winds, but you're not gonna get some like really devastating uh, weather. You're not gonna have to have a lot of the specialized stuff that you need later on to survive the seasons. And the nights are really short, so you can survive them really with just a handful of torches, and it doesn't impact your brain function as much as when you say get to the monsoon season, when the nights are really long, and you can absolutely start to go a little crazy at night. So let's just make a torch and run around with a torch. We don't need to stay in one spot yet and throw it on a campfire. We can explore by the light of a torch. It's inherently more restricted, as you can see. But by checking the main map every once in a while, it's still doable. Cannot underemphasize how important it is to get twigs. Without twigs, you cannot make more tools for yourself, and you can end up really in trouble. Massively in trouble. I will stop at 20 seashells if I get to that. I will admit, I've never quite gotten this many seashells on my first island before, so that's kind of cool. Normally, you do end up your first night with about 22% left on your torch, so that is in line with expectations. Sometimes later in the game, I come back to this first island and dig up the stumps of the trees that you can't dig up yet because you don't have a shovel. And sometimes I just use it as a like a stopping point because it's generally pretty easy to remember where it was on the map because it is, where your first sea voyages all start from. Now, I'm going to pause really quick, eat my berries. Even though it's going to take my sanity down a bit, I'm going to eat my limpets because when we get on our surfboard, if we hit the waves right, we regain sanity. That is one of the key reasons why Walani is my favorite character. Alright, I would have maybe preferred, like, those two cloths being boards, but this isn't the end of the world. That is at least enough, after we have a piece of gold, to make what is it called? A chest. And we're really going to want that chest. Because once again, I love games that are about resource management, and this game is totally about resource management. Okay, I'm gonna eat the berries so I have some space in my pockets, because it is very helpful to have some of these seaweeds for multiple reasons. A, because the name of the game is Don't Starve. So I do get a little obsessive about being clean on the map. Like, I hate to leave just like little small slivers of black space. But play however you want. Like, I'm not gonna tell you you can't leave little slivers of black space. I just don't want to. So we're heading up here to get this bottle, because man, are these bottles helpful. Let's eat all our seeds right now. We don't need them for planting yet. All right, so we know that if we head down there, we'll be able to get gold. So that is pretty much the most useful thing that could have happened to us right now. Other than, just finding a lump of gold out in the middle of the ocean. Because all we're missing to make a science machine is a piece of gold. I will say, I never like to leave my main island without enough wood and enough rocks to make a science machine. Because really, you're somewhat defenseless until you have that science machine. Oh, wow. Okay. So we got a tar slick pretty close to our original island. That is very helpful. Unfortunately, we can't build a tar extractor yet because we have not discovered coral. Hopefully somewhere on our way to that island down there, we'll find it. One of the things I'll say now as a note for the future is that, good lord, whoops. We're going to want to come back and fight him, but not when we're only on a surfboard. We're way too likely to die when we're only on a surfboard. Man. I totally just had the thought, what if my microphone isn't on? Okay, it is on. Whew. See, because we can surf and gain mental health a bit here, he's not going to stop coming after us until we're on land. So I was wrong. Well, I've always had to chase him through to regular land before. So normally when you find a trunk like this, you do find, let's just eat all our limpets, whatever. You do find some coral. And that's not enough to do what we need to do, but it is enough after we have some gold to allow us to figure out how to combine coral into coral rock, I think it is. And coral rock is what's needed to build a tar extractor. So even though that doesn't get us to where we need to be, it allows us to kind of put together the pieces as we go. Now, in as much as I find these swampy lands super helpful in some circumstances, I'm not going to try running through them right now because I do not have any type of protection and I'm already down a little bit of health. And the thing about the swampy lands is that there are things that will come after you and that are kind of hard to fight when you have not unlocked any type of self-defense gear yet. Oops, I did not mean to pick the flowers. You get a little bit of mental help when you pick flowers, but you can also eat them to get health. But it's very, very advantageous to have them around for if you need them later. I try not to pick them unless I'm really desperate. Okay, so in as much as it would be super badass right now to dig up that, we can't. Oh no, what did I do? Yeah, there we go. Whew. We can't dig that up because we don't have a shovel. So now we're going to throw off our backpack, make ourselves a bigger backpack, throw that backpack off, take the stuff from here, put it in the other one, and then dump this one over here. Now we're going to make ourselves a cute little shovel. Shovels are so helpful. It frustrates me that you don't have them at the beginning, but I also kind of get it. Oof, 5 gold and a gear right away. That is a real haul. I'm going to leave the red gem for reasons that I will elucidate later. We're going to lay down an ordinary fire here because we don't have a bigger one. We're going to put these away for now, those away. We're going to make a chest, but not place it. And now let's lay down our fire. So if you eat the seaweed raw, you lose sanity when you eat it, which I could be down to lose some sanity right now because I'm at 100, and every time you craft something new for the first time, you gain sanity. But we're just not going to do that yet. So I'm going to plan to explore around this island a bit before I go anywhere. So I'm dropping stuff off in the chest mostly so that I have pockets open to collect anything I find. We'll take that with us just in case we come across some more. What I really want to do before I leave this island is craft an alchemy engine. Whether or not I place it, I want to craft it. I want to craft it and have it ready in my pocket. And for that, I'm going to need boards and stone. And I do not have enough wood or rock right now. So we're just going to run around gathering resources and hoping the island provides us with enough food sources to be able to do this. Because I'm pretty okay on food right now, like 180. But as I mentioned earlier, when you start to chop wood with just a regular flint hammer, it feels like this goes down very quickly. Oh, you know what we didn't do? Wow, this is a rookie move. I did not go make myself a weapon before I went exploring. And considering that when you chop down a tree, one of the things that might happen to you is that a snake might come after you. We really got to go get ourselves a spear before we chop down any more trees. This is also where I am considering the benefits of setting this island on fire, because I need all that charcoal in order to make a crock pot and in order to make drying racks. Aren't we glad we gathered as many twigs as possible? Because we're going through them pretty fast right now. I suppose I should note I am using the keyboard function as I play. If you have something in your hand and there's a function near you that the spacebar will allow you to execute, all you have to do is press the spacebar and you'll be doing that thing. So like when I get close to a rock with the pickaxe in my hand, it'll chop the rock up. If I get close to a tree with an axe in my hand, it'll chop the tree up. So what we're going to do now, and the reason I didn't do this at first is that I do try to balance the mental health with everything else. So we're going to learn how to refine rope, grass into rope, and now we're going to make ourselves a very important spear. Very important, because things need to be killed in this game. Another reason I kind of want to light this one on fire is that I really dislike the monkeys. They annoy me so much. I mean, I know they have their benefits, but I hate fighting them for resources. I feel really blessed at finding this much gold this quickly. This is not normal. Not to say this is, going to be an easy game, but that part is going well. So I know it's not night yet, and sometimes it's more helpful to light stuff on fire at night, but I'm just going to light their thing on fire now. You can also hammer it with a hammer. That totally works. Really your choice. Let's see. This one should start a nice little collection of fires. I, I view myself as needing at least 8 pieces of charcoal right away. That is because you need 6 to make a crock pot and you need 2 to make a drying rack, and you're going to want to have those even if you're not using them right away. You're just going to want to have them in your inventory. Or at least I always want to have them in my inventory. Now see, we're running a little low on twigs, so in as much as I do need to chop down a regular tree so that I can make a alchemy thingy, I also want to make sure that I'm burning some more stuff down. Nope, can't do that one yet. I need the rest of that stone. If you are low on resources, one of the things you can totally do is, we're gonna get that dead butterfly, because they're good for health. If you are low on resources, one of the things you can do is do all this burning stuff down at night, because then you don't have to use any type of fire source, because the forest will be on fire for a second. Honestly, this fire is spreading far less than they normally do. I'm kind of fascinated. Oop, bird is dead. But hey, that's free meat. We'll take it. This island is not the type of island I would want to form a permanent base on, for a handful of reasons. But it is helpful in a few ways. Number one, I think I'm just going to leave this set up here. Like, I'm going to leave some of these earlier resources right here, not worry about them. Including getting that egg to rot slowly, which is a surprisingly important part of this game. Hmm. Okay, now we can make our alchemy engine and throw a little fire down. So we're going to make 3 ropes, and then we're going to make ourselves... Oh! See what I said about those sticks being important? Yeah, so we're going to leave a lot of stuff here because we kind of have to. I was going to make a drying rack and then leave that piece of meat drying because jerky, for whatever reason, gives you a lot of mental health as well as health and food. So clearly helpful on a number of levels. Let's see. What else? We're not going to take the jungle tree seeds. Guess we can leave the rope here. You know what? We'll learn how to refine the gold right now because that is helpful and we have an even number. So we'll leave the ashes. We won't take the gear. We will take the gear. And limestone. Coral makes limestone. That makes more sense. Okay. I'm balancing wanting some of these resources with knowing I can recreate some of them on the go. Bone shards will be helpful sooner rather than later. Charcoal helpful sooner rather than later. Okay. I'd say what's really interesting right now is that I don't really want to take the rope and I do want the coral. So there we go. I was going to say that I don't fully approve of this lineup of stuff. I'm going to get a little bit more wood so I can make a science machine and have both that and an alchemy engine. What I would like to do is find more of a home base island before I actually plunk down the alchemy engine. Because in as much as we were just able to get one created rather quickly, that is an anomaly. The important thing to know about Walani as well is that it is easy to craft the surfboard for her as long as you have one plank and shells. Since we've already learned how to make a board, and since we have a pocket full of shells, we're good to explore for a bit. And I'm not going into the swampland yet. Well, let's go in just to make sure there's not a reanimation stone somewhere hidden in here. You can get poisoned, you can get killed far too easily in these things when you don't have a helmet. But we do have a weapon now, so... Okay, I don't see a reanimation stone anywhere in here. Later, everything in here will be helpful, but right now, we got other fish to fry. I used to immediately kind of try to find the edges of the board, but I've become much more chill about not doing that. Because the game actually tries to give you clumps of islands close to the center, or close to where you start, even if that's not the center. So it's sometimes easier to kind of hover geographically around where you started and figure out what is close rather than stretch yourself and your resources to the limit. And normally when you find this pale water, that means land is near. Ta-da! Now let's stock up again on all this stuff. Before the mild season is over, really before hurricane season is over, I want to stock up on the sandy piles. But right now is not quite the time. Well, let's grab some more bone shards. I'll come back and get that hat before I leave. Well, I guess I can carry it with me. I just don't want to carry it on my head. No, eat. So that hat helps you gain mental health, which is honestly wonderful. Whatever, we'll take the bottles with us too. But also, crucially, while you're on a boat, it also makes the amount of area you can see around you on the map bigger. So I don't like wearing it on land. I don't like wearing it when I'm not, out there doing something significant. If you're low on health, or if you have a garden patch somewhere, I don't recommend eating the seeds immediately, but while my pockets are full and I have other stuff I kind of strategically want to get first, that is definitely when I put it on pause. I do have some mods installed that let me know some things. I've actually had them installed so long that I'm not quite remembering how it's different without them. But I like to know my temperature, and I like to know essentially my badness rating, how many things the game has viewed me as killing. I have no desire to go into Krampus mode. Okay, I do always feel like when I find one of these grassy patch lands that I might be on an island that has a reanimation stone. I also might be on an island that is just a bunch of grassy patch and a bunch of flowers, and maybe I'll put a beehive there later. But it does mean I'm extra excited and curious to explore a little. And right now I'm extra thankful for more twigs. I would really like to find a spider soon because I need some silk. Silk is one of the things that I view as fairly critical to have in the mild season. Hey! We're just going to drop that. We're not going to do anything else with it yet. Oh, see, my favorite is when you get the spiders and the snakes fighting each other. It's so helpful. Just going to watch them fight for a bit. Yes, kill each other. I really particularly love it when the snakes and the spiders kill each other, and then you're able to get snake skins without fighting that many snakes. Like, I don't mind fighting the snakes. I don't mind fighting the spiders. You definitely need their resources pretty keenly in order to have a successful chance at the game. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely have my hopes up that we have a reanimation stone on this island. Because it's pretty clutch. I got a place where snakes and spiders will fight each other. I clearly have enough insects for me to have a really good chance at getting all the resources I need. I gotta say, even if it doesn't have the reanimation stone, I might make this my base. Because I got 3 pretty significant, helpful biomes. And a lot of resources that you need time and time again. And it's not too big. I think one of the annoying things is when you create a home on an island where, you want to be a little protected from the water because the tides do vary. But you don't want to have something be so big where when you hop off your boat, you have to run forever to get to your base. I really think it's important to be able to get to your base pretty quickly when you hop off your boat. The only thing that I would be pretty happy with is some of the volcano biome as well. And this might be a little dangerous. It looks like it has a few too many beehives for me to feel really comfortable, but we also can do something about that. Nine times out of 10, the reanimation stone is in the forest or the swamp, but I have found it in other biomes before. Very, very rarely. I also do like an island where you're able to get the limpets. because the dolphins, ballfins, whatever they're called in this game, really like the limpets, so they'll become your friends if you have them. So it's always nice to grab a couple before you hit the road, so that if you meet some dolphins, you can make them your friends immediately. And friends are good for both your mental health and for protection. Man, there are a lot of things when you say them out loud, you're like, wow, they managed to make that sound really profound. Friends are good for both your mental health and your protection. See, also, if I make this a home island, you can put some of those traps we put near the spider and capture some of these crabs and dry them. And then they'd be good for food for while we're on the road. Yep, come get me. Okay, we got one silk. We need two in order to get fireflies to make either a hat that shines up the night or a lantern for our boat. So I like to capture two immediately. I do think there's always a risk of over indulging in grabbing resources. Okay. Just a sec. Well, sorry guys. I have to, and gals and non binary pals, I have to leave a little early, but I will be back.